Jane Tracy with the Orange County Library System, and we are here at the Washington Park Branch Library in Orlando, Florida, capturing memories from our community. It is Friday, February 17th, 2012. Would you please tell us your name and where you are from?
My name is Farrah Williams Morgan, and I'm from Orlando, Florida.
So, Ms. Morgan, you were born here?
Yes, I was born and raised here. The only time I left was to attend college at Florida A&M University.
And what's your earliest memory of Orlando?
Oh, my earliest memory is entering Callahan Elementary School, which is on Paramount Avenue now. There's a recreation center there now. It was the second elementary school in Orange County at the time, the other school having been Holden Street Elementary. There were only two elementary schools. Jones High School had just opened, and they had a new edifice on Cypress Street, it was called then, off Orange Blossom Trail. But entering Callahan Elementary School was a wonderful experience. At that time, the Albertson Branch Library was on Terry Street. That was the library for, we were called colored at that time, not African American. And later, they built a new branch down on the corner of Terry and Jackson Street. And that's where I spent my most memorable days, at the Orange County Albertson branch of the Orange County Library System.
So when you entered Callahan School, it was probably still fairly new, right? Was it all nice and...
No, it was old. It was the old Jones High, because they had built the new edifice for Jones High. It had been previously been Jones High School. And I believe I entered in 1953, and I think that was either the first or second year for the new Jones High School. As a matter of fact, people were still calling it the old Jones High when I went there, but it was named Callahan at that time.
And you said that you seemed to love going there. So did you have some wonderful teachers?
Yes, my first grade teacher, even though she was mean as the Dickens, but she was wonderful. Miss Bertha C. Scales, who's now passed away. That had some favorable memories there. We did a lot of activities in the community that were for fun. Yes.
Like what kinds of activities?
Oh, there were playground activities. There were plays that we did. At that time, it was only African American, called colored, as I said at the time, teachers. And they were into the arts, and we did a lot of plays and presentations.
And the community would come and watch you?
Yes, yes.
And so did you decide at an early age that you wanted to go to college and go into ed?
Yes, that was inevitable. But that's what my parents said, we were going to college. Not that I was, to really be honest, I was really that interested in college, but I didn't want to be cleaning anybody's house either, so I went to college. Right, that was expected.
And that came from your parents?
Yes, which my parents, as a matter of fact, my dad didn't finish high school until I was in school. He went back to night school to finish, but they did stretch education.
And so you said you went to FAMU, is that right?
Right, I went to FAMU. Right.
And your focus was
in mathematics, and I wasn't in education, but my father passed away while I was in college, so I wanted to come back home to be with my mom. She was going through it, so teaching was. I was, even though I was in education, I had a degree in mathematics, so I was able to teach at. It was in Carver Junior High School. And I was in that famous fishbowl, too. That was my first year teaching. Very traumatic year.
So, were there many female mathematics students when you were in college?
Not too many, not a whole lot. It was minimal.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But that was always an interest of yours.
Yes, My counselor in high school, because of my test scores, it wasn't, once again, it was not my interest. He advised me because I scored high in mathematics. Oh, I wanted to be a social worker, so something, that I knew nothing about. But he advised me to go into math. So I was going into industry, as I said, because my father passed away. I came back here to teach and continued to retire from the Orange County public school system.
So, what would be some of the memorable events in your life of teaching?
The fishbowl was number one. I started school. This about my first year teaching. I started at Carver Junior High School. At the end of the semester was when the fishbowl occurred. I went to Robbinswood Junior High School. At the time, they hadn't desegregated the students. There were only 3 African American students in the school, and it was, like I said, a traumatic experience because it happened all of a sudden. Even though the mandate had been given to Orange County, they didn't follow it until they were given an ultimatum, and they made a mess of it, to be frank. But I survived. Yes.
And then you went on to have other good experiences in your teaching career, right?
Yes. Now, at the end of that first year, I resigned. I didn't ask for reappointment, and I went to work for First National Bank, which is Sun Bank now, on the corner of Orange Avenue and Church, and I worked there. And my mom was kind of upset, so I went back to teaching. I taught in Osceola County for 2 years before coming back to Orange County. I came back to Memorial Junior High School, and I had very pleasant experiences since then.
And did you retire from Memorial?
I retired from Oak Ridge High School. My last 11 years were spent at Oak Ridge High School. I went to the high school. I spent 1 year when they changed over to middle school, and because of the concept, I couldn't teach my math concepts like I wanted to in the middle school program. I transferred to the high school.
So you transferred to the upper level.
Right. And from there I retired.
Very interesting. So, what are you most proud of? Is it your degree of completing college that pleased your parents, or do you have other experiences that have really meant a lot to you?
I'm most proud of our granddaughter, Dayani Marie. She's my heart. She's 5 years old, and I spend much time with her.
Are you already teaching her math?
Yes, I'm teaching her everything I can. I do read to her. I have her read along books, and I have her math books too. Yes. So I have all types of puzzles. Yes. And I enjoy singing in my church choir also.
And what church do you go to?
New Covenant Baptist Church.
And that's right here in this area?
Yes, that's on Rio Grande, 2210 South Rio Grande.
And can we ask, are you a soprano?
I'm a tenor.
A tenor.
I grew up, I sang in Jones High School choir under Miss Leslie Brayboy Weaver. I sang alto at that time, but as I've gotten older, my voice has dropped, so now I sing tenor.
Are you proud to be a tenor?
Yes, very proud. As a matter of fact, we have 4 tenors, 4 female tenors in our choir, yes.
And do you have a favorite song, a favorite hymn that you treasure, that you like to sing?
No, I like all of them.
You like all of them.
There's some I like other people to sing. Right.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us today that we haven't asked about your life?
My life. Oh, I was proud of my class. My 1965 class of Jones High School was the first class to have commencement at the then Bob Carr Auditorium. So that was a remarkable moment. Oh, we were so proud.
I bet. Yeah. No, had Bob Carr just opened?
No, it hadn't just opened, but we were the first class, first African American class anyway, to have commencement at Bob Carr.
That's quite an historic event.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today and for your service to our community all of these years as a teacher.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to speak with you today. Yeah.